Hello. Let's look at some ways in which we can connect to the works of literature in a deeper and more meaningful way. We're going to do this with a process called active reading and a basic understanding of literature, literary theory, I should say. When I say theory, I'm talking about a body of ideas and methods we use in the practical reading of literature. By literary theory, we refer not to the meaning of a work of literature, but to the theories that reveal what literature can mean. Literary theory is a description of underlying principles, one might say the tools, by which we attempt to understand literature. So this is all about ways of understanding. We've gotten our first story underway, and I wanted you guys to have this knowledge as we move through the rest of the semester. The main way in which we are going to bring deeper levels of understanding is through something called reader's response. Keep in mind there is no right or wrong answer to many of the discussion questions that I present to you guys, but I want you to present a good faith effort to explain your understanding and interpretation of the story. The way in which you do that is to approach it in a very active way. In this process of reader's response, readers are active, meaning when you sit down to read a story, a poem, a play, any work of literature, make sure you have a pen or a pencil in hand. I don't want you to interact with the literature passively. I want you to be active. I want you to react, therefore bringing real meaning to the text. This is going to give you freedom to provide that meaning and allow for those multiple interpretations of a text. So remember, there may be 30 of you in a class, and we may have 30 different interpretations. Again, it's about the good faith effort. So when it comes to the steps for active reading, you may know this process as close reading. It's the same process. So this is how it works. Again, pen or pencil in hand, text in front of you. Perhaps you may have a notebook or a sheet of paper where you can collect some thinking, or maybe you're using the white spaces of the margins of the book. But as you read, you log your thoughts. Have that means of recording those thoughts, be it a notebook or the white spaces. As you get to the end of the story, you then want to refer back to those notes, those annotations at the end of the reading. So you're basically reflecting on your thinking. And guess what? That solidifies your understanding. It forces you to slow down and take some time and allows you to go deeper in your attempts to understand the text. At the end of your your reflection on your thinking, then you can reread the story straight through, no pen or pencil needed. Whether you start off with a straight read and then on your second attempt bring about the active reading process, or vice versa, it's completely up to you. But I do suggest at least 2 reads of each piece of literature. When we talk about the white spaces of the margins of the book, that's kind of a personal way that I do it, but I understand that you may not want to, sort of populate your thinking in the book, especially if you're renting the book or if it doesn't belong to you. But this is sort of what it looks like for me. Okay, notice the annotations here. As I'm having a thought, any questions, comments, or concerns, anything that I don't understand, anything that I need to look up, anything that makes me curious, anything that is very provocative, I annotate my thinking. So it's a 2-step dynamic that's happening, walking and chewing gum at the same time. As I'm reading, I'm having thoughts. I then log those thoughts in, I refer back to my thoughts, and then I reflect on my thinking, and that helps me to understand the piece of work on a deeper level. The results of your active reading, right? You will have annotations, you will collect observations, you will develop new questions, you'll state ideas, and guess what? You can even make connections. The most important thing is that you are exploring your thinking. Now, you can use these annotations to tackle your discussion board assignments and to prepare for any quizzes and to find direction and possible topics for writing assignments. That's what this is for. So be sure that you are working this process as you're moving through the semester. Now, reader's response is our main approach, like I said, but we do have a secondary approach. We approach literature through a formalist sort of method. And so that is a breakdown and analysis of the 6 elements of a story that deal with plot, theme, setting, characterization, symbolism / figurative language, and then narration and point of view. So we looked at plot last week with the previous story, and then this week we're focusing in on characterization. Now, these are just 2 approaches when it comes to lit theory, reader's response, and formalism. There's a handout that I have waiting for you guys right underneath where you found this video that deals with some of the basic methods of lit theory. This is only a sampling. It is not an exhaustive list, but it is a collection of the main methods of understanding literature. So be sure to read through that and then use your understanding of each of the methods as you discuss and reflect on each story. This will be important as you use this language in your discussion board posts and in your further thinking and writings. If you have any questions, be sure to send me an email. But this is the way in which we find deeper meaning and deeper understanding. Take care.